So, what's going on, guys? You're back with fucking Loser69, and today I'm going to show you how to dupe. So, first of all, what you want to do is you load up in your game. You can be anywhere, but I do suggest being exactly where I am. And what you want to do is drop your items which you want to dupe. I have right here a stew pot. It's one of the most megaest, rarest weapons in the game, so I want to dupe that to let all my friends use this rare armor bit as well, and we'll be well protected. It's like power armor. So what you want to do, first of all, is drop it on the ground, and it takes a while for the bag to show up, but once you do, you see it's in the bag. Now what you do, and this is really tricky, guys, this is where it gets really hard, you put your thumb on the Alt button, and then you put your other finger on the F4 button. So after you've done that, you'll be greeted with this menu. This is actually your duping menu, and there's a special button you need to press to actually dupe that in-game. You go over to this button called Game Options, and you hit Uninstall. G'day, this is the real Captainoob, and don't worry, fucking idiot 69 is out of the room. You will not be hearing from him again. Anyways, this is an Instigating combat sniper rifle. The sniper in that name just comes from the fact that it's got a scope on. It did that in Fallout 4. Same with the hunting rifle, actually. I digress. So we're going to be using this with the hardened receiver, which means semi-auto, which means rifleman stealth build is going to be utilizing this. And the whole thinking behind that is getting the most damage per bullet out of this thing as we can. Obviously, we can hit better DPS if we can actually, use this thing with an automatic platform, but if I'm one-shotting people with 45s, I feel like that's a good use of an instigating weapon. I'll usually go for the best damage per bullet for an instigating weapon, so yep, that's why I've got that. True long barrel and true stock. Usually I'd go for stabilizer, especially with automatic ones, but we're not going to be firing that fast. She is going to be kicking a little bit, but we can mitigate that with the low rate of fire of this, so it's not really a problem. And perforating magazine, I'd usually, go for a stinging one, but that's only 5 extra bullets, so we get more armor penetration out of a slightly smaller magazine, which will go well with tank killer. So we're at 50 damage, so if you weren't watching the weapon card there, so let's go ahead and upgrade this with all of the necessary rifle perks, like rifleman, would you believe? And obviously tank killer goes well with our perforating magazine, and agility, basically the same as usual. I've pulled 1 point out of Action Girl because I've got AP refresh on one of my chameleon bits now, so I'm using Gun Fu there, which is actually a really good perk. I use that quite a lot with my gunslinger. All of our perks are in. We're sitting at 92 damage, which, if I'm right, I think that's the equivalent of the damage we get out of a powerful auto receiver on a max spec in terms of Commander and Bloody Mess handmade rifle. So it doesn't look all that impressive, does it? Especially when we pair that with the rate of fire. So what I'm thinking here is this thing is sort of meant to bridge the gap between hunting rifle and handmade rifle, sitting in the middle. Not too great, but not terrible either, I think. Alrighty, so here we are outside the ghouls, and this is what this thing looks like. Yep, we've already seen it before. It looks like they're out and about already. I definitely saw one dude walk across there, or shuffle across there. Oh, they're out in force. Now, interestingly, they're resisting damage some way or another. They seem to be resisting my sneak attack criticals there, because that first one, it took 2 shots for me to do it. So we can one-shot ghouls pretty well. Obviously, they're not particularly well armored or anything, but keep in mind that we are getting a good damage boost out of the instigating effect, and making sure we're using this thing as a hip-fire thing in close quarters like this is good. So making good use out of the true barrel and true stock there. Doesn't look like it's blooming out too crazily at all, which is kind of nice. Alright. I did choose a short scope for this because it's going to be more of a, I guess, DMR type weapon, even though it's firing little pistol bullets, which are not little. I said that they were little pistol bullets once, and some American guy, he got really mad at me. He's like, oh, but 45s are bigger than that, except in an American accent. It's like, yeah, okay, mate, sure, whatever you say. But it's a pistol cartridge, and you'll never be able to wash it clean of that. When I think of pistol cartridges, I think of 9mm, but as you can tell, this thing using as a stealth weapon, we're not getting swarmed by ghouls, so the rate of fire of this thing really isn't, a mark against it at the moment, which is nice, because with a suppressor and stealth, we can play to the strengths of this thing's slower game, you see. Well, a slower playstyle, I should say. That makes more sense. And if we can just sneak attack crit everything, we won't even get hit. So that's why I'm not really concerned with, like, armor when it comes to stealth commandos. If you've got, like, a level 5 chameleon piece with, like, extra Sentinel's effect, maybe not that, but AP regen, I'd definitely take that over just, you know, regular combat armor, that's for sure. And are we done here? I feel like we're almost done here already, without even breaking a sweat, really. We got detected a few times, we were able to quickly dispatch those ghoulies, you know, when they got mad at me and started running, and they didn't have enough time to alert their friends, so, you know, pretty low energy attack on these ghouls for starters, but as you can tell, no problem taking out these guys. Perhaps if you're in a group, you'll find this thing not doing quite as much damage because obviously it's hard to coordinate stealth, especially with you just playing casually. But yeah, in terms of having this thing work the non-nuked zone and against regular ghouls that you'd spawn basically anywhere, it's not too bad in this situation. See, it's about not getting yourself into the swarming situations, which can make weapons pretty good. You could probably do this quite easy with a hunting rifle if you had a suppressor on it, you see. Alrighty, I'm going to do that again because I don't like getting half of the spawns that I should, so we're going to be a little bit more aggressive this time. Also, a new bug has been introduced to this game. If you load in and then quit the game, load back in, you'll be missing all of your ammo, and also there's some dodgy hitboxes there. Keep away from me, you foul bastard. So right now we can get adrenaline. Oh, you're just jumping for joy, aren't you? There's a lot of weird things that happen with these ghoulies here. Alright, let's get some... What am I being attacked by? Oh, good. Ghoul. Oh, wait. No, it's a sleeper. It's a sleeping ghoul. Yeah, that's happening. That's been happening a lot too. But at least we've got some more action-packed ghoulies this time, right? And it's a Berserker's 10mm submachine gun with... Oh, bad prefix. Bad prefix. Good secondary effect. That rate of fire would be huge out of that. Alright, let's keep it moving. Oh, hang on. Looks like someone else has already been in here. Well, whatever. That was like, if you add all the ghouls I just killed there and, you know, you get the idea. We'll move on. If we take a closer look at the damage here as we move into Moody's Plaza, so we're sitting at 107 now, that is thanks to a little bit of adrenal reaction. So what's that? 214 damage before any sneak attack criticals, and when we add sneak attack criticals, let's see, instantly kill super mutants. That's good enough for me. Not sure how you'd write that in numerical form, but yeah, I don't probably need to be a calculator to tell you that you can do some pretty solid damage with this thing. Unfortunately, she's a little bit foggy right now, so sometimes I get cucked by my own chameleon armor, which I have 5 of now. I'm going to show you that in a second, I suppose. Whilst we're sniping with this, I guess, we might as well use this thing a little bit more at range there. What was he doing there? I think he just was stirring the stew pot for a second and get a little bit of VATS action in there. Even though, honestly, the scope is going to limit our VATS effectiveness by quite a lot, actually. That doggo is already dead. Some of these doggos don't even bother spawning or doing anything. So now we're at 155 damage, obviously, with chameleon... No, adrenaline at full, and here are my chameleon bits. You know, pause and see those in more detail, you go right ahead. And we've got one less bullet than we should have in our magazine, so we'll reload anyway, and we'll take a look at this thing's AP usage. Okay, it's not terrible there, and gun through was kind of useful at keeping that VATS run going, but yeah, it's not the greatest, and there's a 2-star right there. Can I get another 2-star weapon, please? 2-star bit of armor, something weightless, that'd be nice, because I don't think I've got a whole lot of carry weight spare. Is that a double drop, or did you just regenerate your... No, you just regenerated your health. Well, at least the instigating effect was allowed to happen again, and that's something that you don't usually consider. Sometimes there's enemies that will regenerate to their health to full. What you can do is just pop them in the head again. Maybe if you've got a critical saved up for that, and then kill them instantly from that. So, in a way, it's kind of anti-legendary enemies if you can set it up right, which is kind of nice. Man, I love jumping servers to record gameplay. Just kidding, I'm kind of used to it right now. Let's make myself feel better by executing Zero-like aim, because he was a sniper from Borderlands 2, and probably won't be in Borderlands 3, but he was super accurate and stuff, but only if you're playing him right, and you know, he's a cool guy. I like Zero. I kind of hope he kind of makes a return. I don't know, the Vault Hunters from Borderlands 2 made a little bit of a cameo or a return in, you know, 2. So, did I say 2? I meant 1, but you get what I mean, right? And that was a little cheeky critical just to get us started on bats here. And it looks like we can one-shot these muties in the face. And might I say how satisfying it is to see these guys' heads explode. And was that a chest shot, one-shot kill? I'm not sure. Let's get to the higher ground here because we've got to act like a sniper. It's a DMR weapon. We've got to play a little bit less aggressively than usual. Oh yeah, that was a one-shot kill to the chest, and yep, no need to scope it anymore. We can just cheese all of this just like this. As long as we don't get spotted, we're golden. That guy's got a minigun, has he? No, I was way off. I don't even have an excuse for that. That was just terrible perception. Alright, we'll move on. We'll pretend that didn't happen. And one-shot these lot too. And whilst we've got this little vantage point up here, I haven't cleared out this area yet. Can't see any of them, unfortunately. We'll just have to go through there manually. So we'll do that. Okay, so I can sneak in front of people, be invisible, but that guy sees me out of the corner of his eye. There's a little bit of inconsistency going on here, and whether you can detect me doesn't look like you can. Who is aggroed to me? Oh, there's a dude up there. Okay, well, all of these guys haven't got the memo, which is usually strange because I've studied Fallout AI. Not studied it, but I've known about it. I've witnessed its behavior, and I know that usually when you are detected by one, all of them will know where you are because, you know. Yeah, the drawback of that is when they're aggroed, they're in some sort of position where they're immune to sneak attack criticals. So if you've got like one or two factions fighting at the same time, you can't make use of sneak attack criticals, which annoys me sometimes because, you know, other players can be that factor even though they're not on the same, or they're on the same faction as you because you can't kill them unless they're on survival, but still, it's a little bit of a shame sometimes. That's why I make my stealth commando builds 2 charisma because, you know, they're not designed for being played with other characters. Also, having charisma as a dump stat allows me to put more points into other things. Plus, who needs more than 1 in Lone Wanderer anyway? We're supposed to be a glass cannon because we're not gonna get spotted anytime soon. And if we do, we've got Born Survivor on, so that's our insurance policy. So there's no real reason to have any more than 2 charisma if you've got a dedicated, solid stealth commando build. Even if you want to go even more ballsy than that, you can put on Tenderizer to give yourself a tiny bit more damage if, you know, if that tickles your fancy. So, not too bad out of an instigating combat rifle. See, as you know, it does less damage than a hunting rifle, but the fact that we can fire this thing so much faster, it's so much better than a hunting rifle. I like to shit on the hunting rifle a lot, and that is for good reason, because even a combat rifle like this can easily outperform it just because of the sheer volume of bullets you can get out of there. Like, numbers in terms of volume. The bullets are actually quite a lot smaller, but explains lesser damage, right? But even still, we can one-shot these guys with adrenaline ramped all the way up. A little bit of adrenal reaction doesn't help either. And if I am quick enough to recognize that I ought to do this, 170 damage. So what's that? 240 before sneak attack criticals, which is pretty damn good. Alrighty, what have we got today? Scorched Mirelurk crabs. Oh yeah, they'll all look like they've been infected by the bat. So looks like the bat is trying to intimidate me by making all the bats toasted. Or the crabs toasted, actually. That sounds kind of wrong when I put it like that, but still. Hang on, these are only level 1 dudes. Okay, that one wasn't. He's got tough armor, that one. So we need to let him, we'll shoot him in the head when we get a chance. There we go. Little bit of concentrated fire does alright, although that might have been a critical, seeing as there's only a 90% chance to hit that shot, and we punched through his shell there. His carapace. And yeah, so with this weapon, we can do a lot of damage, right? But we have to kind of use it kind of like a hunting rifle. Our gameplay is going to be slowed down by its rate of fire here. Did I actually just summon a Mirelurk queen with a suppressed weapon? I suppose it's because I got detected. I've got no idea what saw me and why she's... Oh, wait, she's attacking something else? Wait, is she not scorched? No, she is scorched. Oh, wait, he's not scorched. Oh, that makes sense. So, yeah, there's more bugs, Bethesda. Sometimes not all of the legendary... Okay, that one's not scorched either. Sometimes not... Okay, he looks scorched, though, but he's not listed as scorched. So, yeah, there's just... more and more confusions, and now where the bloody hell did the Queen go? Like, it's not every day where you turn around and the Queen's friggin' up and left like Batman. If you could stay right the hell there. Can I not do any damage to you? Oh, you're aggroed somehow. You're just going on the warpath, apparently. You're just really hunting down your own friends. Alright, back into caution, please, now. Escape artist. There it is. Alright, well, if anything else, we're getting a good demonstration of what this thing is like without sneak attack criticals. And, this is really bizarre. Is that... That's a fleeing Mirelurk Queen. She doesn't want to fight. Okay, this is really weird behavior. Also, I'm killing your children for adrenaline. I hope you don't mind that. Oh, there's the sneak attack criticals, but then they're gone again? Oh yeah, she's definitely fleeing. Okay, if nothing else, this is fucking hilarious. Okay. Yeah, who's the real queen around here? It's the one in the poodle skirt and the combat rifle, and now I've got even... No, hang on, that's not going to give me items, unfortunately. I spent them all. I spent them all that I earned up until this point on a nice skin for a lever gun. So, yeah, probably going to figure out which lever gun to do next. But there we go. So the Queen's a tanky bitch, especially when she's locked in some sort of running away super cowardly thing, but we managed to take her out after a while. Of course, it would have been a little bit different if we were actually able to land sneak attack criticals, but she probably wouldn't have killed us that way, because we would have been sneaking the whole time. Alrighty, so now we have a taste of what this thing is like without all those glorious sneak attack criticals, and now with them. Yeah, that paints a picture of how important stealth is with this weapon, doesn't it? Alrighty, here's where it gets a little bit more serious. So whilst he's flying over there, I might as well take a shot at him. Also, have a look at this thing's recoil with non-assisting. That's what it's like. It's just a whole lot of shake you gotta deal with. It's really weird how they designed the combat rifle's recoil to be so goddamn high. So these ranges are actually not even... They're blurry, I guess, because we're using a too weak a scope for this, but where are you, by the way? I should probably, you know, start shooting at the bat. There we go. We'll just get his attention by doing that and reload because we've only got a couple more bullets in our mag left. Alright, we might as well add some gun food damage into that. And also adrenaline because we killed a couple of things there. And we'll keep on going, I suppose. Probably easier to hipfire this thing with quick follow-up shots than it is to actually scope in and use this thing, which is kind of interesting. So, honestly, I feel like you could tweak the recoil a little bit on the combat rifle, because it feels like it's too much. Like, there wasn't even this much in Fallout 4. Perhaps it means it was like a thing that they did on purpose, but I don't really know. I feel like this thing wouldn't be kicking as hard as like a hunting rifle would be, right? Because, yeah, the hunting rifle seems to have more stable sights, at least from my memory, but, compared to stuff like the assault rifle and the handmade rifle, which are firing 5.56 rounds, which are military-grade rounds, right, with plenty of powder behind them, should have heaps more kick than what they do, but then the combat rifle is sort of uppity when you fire the thing, so, you know, I feel like the recoil is a little bit too high, and hopefully that little demonstration there paints a clearer picture of what this thing is like to use. But anyways, there you have it. That was the Instigating combat sniper rifle there. It's a good solid weapon, but not the best. You can do well with it. If you've got one of these in your inventory, then don't feel bad about not having a good weapon, because you can do just fine with this one. That being said, by the time you see this gun will probably be turned into script. Very well, thank you for watching, guys.